You know, some people try to explain why the 1960s were so crazy. And the reason they were so crazy, I think, is because the situation worldwide was very chancy. Like here we have one country capable of obliterating another country. And then over there, the same thing. The same capabilities that we have, they had. And it was just a phone call away. One mistake from either side, and we would have nuclear warfare, which is it's beyond comprehending. My name is Eloy Esparza. I am a retired Lockheed employee. I was a test engineer during my working years. I'm a graduate of the University of Texas at El Paso with a degree in electrical engineering. By today's standards, it was very crude, but you have to remember that we were still using dial telephones in those days. The computers were just a dream in somebody's head. No computers, no cell phones, nothing like that. It was all hard, nuts and bolts. The KH-9, we call it the Big Bird, by the way, for obvious reasons. And it was a beautiful spacecraft. Essentially, it was designed to orbit the Earth. And the main purpose of it was reconnaissance. And the purpose of that reconnaissance is to put it bluntly, to spy on the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China. We started the program at around 1972, and we didn't end the program until about 9 years later. That was when we flew our last bird. So anyway, we came out to the 20th bird, and everything was going fine. The countdown went smoothly. We were ready to launch, and we launched it. And then the Martin booster, the Titan, developed a problem. The liftoff was okay, but the bird only flew, I don't know, maybe 200-300 feet. And then it just blew itself up. All that I remember was that there was a huge noise, the explosion. We had the video cameras that were tracking this bird off the path. The cameras went blank. That's it, no more. Everything just stopped. So the airport security people said, the doors are sealed. You guys are not going anywhere. So we were kept in the blockhouse for several hours. And Celia, my wife, was here in Sunnyvale. I was at Vandenberg. She had not heard from me. I told her that I'd be back on a certain day, and I wasn't here, so she started worrying. Where is he? Why isn't he home? So she called my office here in Sunnyvale, and the man who answered told her that there had been a big problem, and that there was a big explosion. And that's all that he knew. He wasn't allowed to discuss it more. So here, Celia was worried sick, and we were finally let out. I remember distinctly walking out of the blockhouse, and the walkway, the roadway, everything was covered with bits of a brown substance. We didn't know what it was. The best way to describe it looked like tater tots. And we were told, don't touch anything, especially those things. What we learned later was it was fuel. It was part of the fuel, of the solid fuel of the Titans. And it had splattered all over the countryside. So anyway, we were put on buses and we were bused off to what we call the fallback area. It was a safe area away from the pad. There were people there with rubber suits and masks and breathing apparatus, and they were running a wand through our bodies to make sure that we weren't contaminated with anything. And away out of the 2-3 miles away were the news people, the television cameras people and the reporters. And they said, you don't talk to these guys, nothing. Just get in your cars and go home. So we did. So that was the end of number 20. And that was the end of our program. It was a good program though, and I enjoyed it. At that time, the Cold War was raging. The Soviet Union was taking over all of Eastern Europe. They were on a rampage. We were in a geopolitical warfare. I consider that warfare. There was nothing short of that. People weren't shooting at each other, but clearly the Soviet Union was bent on converting the entire world to communism. And it just didn't sit well with me. I felt that whatever little work that I did, so insignificant, was favorable to our country and unfavorable to Soviet communism. It was not to wave the flag or anything, but it was a patriotic thing. It was like going to war. I knew that we were spying. There's no other way to put it. We were spying, but I also knew that those guys were spying on us. So I didn't feel, I didn't have any qualms about the kind of work that I was doing. I felt bad because I couldn't discuss my work with anybody, and my wife especially. But she was the perfect wife. We call them Lockheed widows because they very patiently waited for their men to work long hours, work overtime, work Saturdays and Sundays, Mother's Days, kids' birthdays. But she took it very well, and so I'm kind of proud of her for that. I worked for Lockheed for a total of something like 26 years, and I enjoyed every day of it. I'm glad that I did it, and I would do it all over again.